And welcome back. Dan Ohlweiler is with me right now from Sterling Financial Advisors.
Very well color coordinated with your tie and shirt.
Thank you. Like that going on. I need a spinning one. I have to get one day. So we're talking about some statistics about Social Security.
Well, Social Security is always an interesting subject. In fact, there's been seminars over the last few years talking about how to maximize Social Security until the changes came about a year or two ago in regards to this. And at some point, Social Security is going to have to change the rules or something like that, because it's scheduled to go out, to run out of money in 2034. You know, when Roosevelt first brought in Social Security back in the late 40s to kind of say we don't want to go through another depression, we should always have a safety net. It was never meant to provide, you know, a retirement plan for everybody. What it was meant to do is be a safety net for people that were in trouble or whatever it might be. You know? Back then, everybody had pensions too.
That's true.
You know, you'd get a pension. My dad, you know, he grew up. He's 95 years old, and he's still getting his pension.
Oh wow!
You know, and so
very good.
He worked for the city of Los Angeles and in the fire department, and back then, everybody got pensions, and now it's only government workers, teachers, or maybe some executives that actually get pensions. And so retirement planning has become more dependent upon Social Security because people don't have pensions. It's interesting that I think some of the statistics said that 56% of all women that are over age 65 depend on Social Security as their prime source of income.
Wow.
So they're going to have to make some changes, because when Social Security first started, it was 65. You used to qualify for Social Security at age 65. Then it moved to age 66. Now it's, if you're born after age 1955, it's now 67. Okay, so that extension, it's going to keep going and going and going at some point.
And of course, people are living longer. I think back when this was set up, they weren't thinking, well, like your dad, 30 years of, if your dad was, let's say somebody like your dad, if they were receiving Social Security, 30 years worth of Social Security.
Yeah, people are living longer, you know, and
cost of living, I mean,
cost of living. And when we first started, again, the government, the actuaries used 65 as a mortality table. Okay, well, at 65 now, we're just getting started. You know, and people are still working and things along that line, and so our life expectancy. I think statistics in that report says if a lady lives to age 65, it's projected she would live till age 86, I think. Okay. If a man lives to 65, it's projected that he's going to live to age 84. So, you know, 84 years old, that's, you know, 25 years of Social Security benefits that you're going to receive. Well, they were planning on 5 or 6 years of benefit, and so there's a reason we're having problems with Social Security today.
Some of the things that you sent me here that are interesting, one of them I kind of knew about. Someone making $5 million per year pays the same amount as someone with an annual salary of $127,200.
Yeah, that's somebody like you know, who's making $5 million a year, you know. Well, there's a cap on how much Social Security taxes you have to pay. And that's $127,200 today. So somebody that's making $150,000 pays the maximum amount of Social Security. Well, that's also true for somebody making $5 million. They're only going to be taxed on the first $127,000 themselves. So somebody that's making $75,000 only pays taxes on the first $75,000. Somebody making $150,000 pays it on $120,000, but benefits will be based upon your income average over that period of time.
Right. So maybe that's something that needs to be looked into. At least maybe taking that cap and extending, even if they doubled that cap to, let's say it was 300,000.
I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in the future
greatly.
I don't know this, but I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in the future it becomes means tested. You know, if you have millions of dollars in retirement and you're making a good income, you don't need the Social Security as much as somebody that doesn't have a pension, doesn't have much assets. And so I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes mean tested somewhere along the line, which is unfortunate because you and I have paid in all these years, but we get penalized because we've done well in our business activities, you know. So I'm not saying that's right or wrong. It's a political issue that I don't want to get involved with, but
but you make a good point.
You know, I think that now if they would let us take our Social Security tax and contribute it into a private account and let us build kind of like an IRA, we would probably all be okay with that.
Right, and there's another avenue that maybe they would look at in the future.
Privatizing the taxes, but you're still required to do that. But you know.
Yeah. Now here's something that I was surprised at, and why? Why is it that self-employed workers pay twice as much as salaried employees, twice as much Social Security tax?
Well, like myself, okay, you work for a corporation here or something, and your salary is taxed at 12.4%, I think the amount is, okay? The corporation for you pays half of that 12.4%, so you're being taxed on half of it. When I'm self-employed,
I get it,
I have to pay all of it. Okay, now I get to deduct a portion of that as a write-off, but it's still coming out of my pocket and I have to pay all 12% myself, rather than your employer paying half of it for you.
That makes sense. Now let's talk about, you know, a lot of people saying reducing fraud would help a lot. There's something that you gave me here, at least in 2013, there were over 1,500 deceased Social Security recipients still collecting benefits. Well, when you really look at that, compared to how many people are receiving it, that's a tiny, tiny little bit.
Right.
That's actually pretty darn good.
Right.
You know,
1,500 isn't anything.
No.
You know. You know, but what they want to do is eliminate any type of internet fraud or somebody filing for dead people or something like that they're trying to eliminate. But that isn't, like I agree with you, that in and of itself isn't going to save the Social Security Trust Fund.
Right.
There's just not enough. My son did a study here not too long ago in the 1940s when Roosevelt brought Social Security into play. For every Social Security recipient, there were 40 employees supporting that person.
Okay.
Okay. With the baby boomer generation coming to retire, we know that there's 10,000 of them retiring every day over the next decade. That's dropped down to about 3.
Wow.
And so that's the difference in why we're having so much problems, is because so many people are retiring, going on to Social Security. There's only about 3 people for every recipient now paying into the Social Security system, and that's why we're having problems.
Yeah.
So there's got to be something done. You know, when people say get a seminar invitation, come learn how to maximize your Social Security benefits. That used to be when you could, quote, file and defer so your spouse could get it and everything. They've kind of tightened up those loopholes.
Okay.
And so a lot of the, there's a window there where you could do that, but they've tightened up those loopholes so the spouse who has never worked can't get the Social Security until the other spouse that did work claims for it. So there's a lot of things that you can do, and Social Security does play an important part. You know, I had a couple in yesterday that are planning on getting, between the two of them, you know, $50,000 a year in Social Security. He's going to wait till age 70, you know, to maximize, and she gets half of his. So they're going to have a nice Social Security foundation. But, you know, you've got to wait till age 70 to do that.
Yeah.
You know, people always ask me, when is the maximum time to, or when's the optimum time to collect Social Security? And I always say, well, tell me when you're going to die. I'll tell you what to do. Yeah. You know, you just don't know. Yeah, because
what you sent me here is about 60% file for early Social Security, and yet only 10% wait till the maximum, which is age 7. Well, technically the maximum is
66 or 67
but waiting
right now.
to get a little
Right,
more, 8% a year, until 70.
Yeah, you have 60% of the people that say, hey, I'm not sure Social Security is going to be around. I'm going to take it while I can. Okay.
Yeah.
While the other 10% only, I'm getting 8% additional benefit every year. I sometimes I have people come in and say, hey, I'm going to take my Social Security and wait on taking distributions from my IRA because I'm taxed on that.
Yeah.
Well, they're better off taking distributions from their IRA and letting their Social Security compound at 8% every year.
Yeah.
If they can. It all this is the planning process we go through with them, Ken.
Yeah.
And it's
different for everyone.
It's different for everyone. It's not. I've had plans where we actually recommended that people take it at age 62.
Yeah.
And and sometimes they've already been taking it. So it's a planning process that we're able to sit down with people and say, let us do some calculations, and we'll, based upon your situation, tell you what we recommend doing.
Yeah.
So
very good.
So there's a lot of information. The taxation of Social Security. They said that would never be taxed. When Roosevelt said that we'll never tax your Social Security. Well, the problem is the politicians died that made that promise.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if you'd like to sit down with Dan and kind of just get a free consult with them, they'd love to have you come up there in Mission Viejo, and especially when it comes to Social Security, if you're right there and maybe you haven't taken it yet, you're kind of figuring out what's best.
The income planning is critical.
Yeah.
That's what pays the bills.
Yeah.
I don't care how much assets you have. You could have $2 million of vacant land.
Yeah.
But if it's not generating income to you, you could be in trouble.
Yeah.
So the income planning is very critical, and that's what we try to help satisfy with people as they enter retirement.
All right, very good.
Good to see you.
Take care.
All right.
Have a good
care.
weekend. SterlingFA.com is the website. We'll be right back.